Simple Aquatics. I'm Tom, and today we're talking about harvesting Grindal worms. So in a Facebook and blog post that we did on Monday, I talked to you about Grindal worms, how to culture them, and the fact that they are a fantastic live food for most aquarium fish and invertebrates. Today I'm going to teach you how to harvest them. So the things you're going to need to harvest your Grindal worms is your existing culture. Like I said in my last post, when you start a Grindal worm culture, let it go for about 3 weeks to a month. Just let those worms get established to colonise properly before you start harvesting them. I've got a couple of beakers, but you can use a cup, some ramekins, anything of that sort. Some syringes, you only really need one, but I've got a pack of various sizes. Some water, and I like to use dechlorinator and just a general disease clear as well. So the first step in harvesting your Grindal worms is to take your container of whatever sort you've got at hand and fill it about halfway with some water. That should be plenty. Now I always add a few drops of dechlorinator and a disease clear. It's absolutely unnecessary, but I think it is best practice just to prevent any kind of parasites and whatnot getting into your aquarium. You're then going to take your existing Grindal worm culture. You can see mine's quite well established. It's been going for quite a few months. And you're going to harvest some of the worms. So you can use a spoon, your fingers. I am using just a skewer for this. You're just going to harvest some of the worms. If you've got food in, like mine currently does, you want to kind of work either around the food or remove the food first. You can get a good amount of worms into your water. Again, there's no exact science to it. You'll sort of learn over time how much you need. Always add ever so slightly more than you need, because you might lose some worms throughout the harvesting process. You then want to give a good stir just to separate the worms from any sort of dirt or food that they are stuck to, and let that settle. As you can probably see, in that beaker, we've got quite a sediment at the bottom, but we'll be able to sort of fish the worms out from amongst that. Once the worms have settled a bit, you can discard most of the water, just leaving the worms in there with maybe a centimetre above them, which will just make it a little bit easier to harvest. And you then want to use your syringe just to pick out as many worms as you can into your other container. So the aim of the game here is to get the worms without getting any of the food or the soil. But that is not always the case. And so we will repeat this step, I don't know, 4, 5, maybe 6 times. Just to get out as many of the worms as we can, as clean as we can. So you can see we've got out most of the worms. But there is still just a little bit of the sediment left in the bottom there, which is what we're going for. So we can dump that out. And then it's just a matter of repeating the steps. So give them a swirl so they separate. Let that settle. And then syringe out your worms.
A few minutes later.
And we've now got a small quantity of nice clean Grindal worms ready to feed our fish. The way I do it is I like to give my syringe a little rinse, just because any of the sort of the debris can still be stuck inside there. And then suck up your Grindal worms. A turkey base also works quite well, just to be injected straight into your aquarium. I hope this video has been informative, and I hope you learned something today. If you're interested in purchasing some Grindal worms to start your own culture, you can get in contact with us through the website or our Facebook page. And make sure you're following the Facebook page and the blog, as we upload regular content throughout the week, every week. Stay safe.